McLaren doesn't care if you think it's ugly. Why would it? Even at $958,966. It didn't struggle to sell all 500 Senna supercars sight unseen, nearly a one-third of those heading toward U.S. proprietors. It's not meant to be somewhat. McLaren boss Mike Foward tells us, Ultimate Series automobiles are both focused in one area. In the Senna, it's zero and trail performance firstly. Still think it's too ugly? Save your breath. 1. It travels harder than the McLaren P1. What would the McLaren P1 ought to have like without the electric engine, battery battalion and associated heft? The Senna is your answer. Sure. 789 horsepower from a progression of the 4.0-liter V8 and the 720S plays the P1's hybrid-assisted 903 bhp, but the Senna's lightest possible dry load of 2,641 pounds is more than 400 pounds lower than the P1. Twin-scroll turbos compensating for the lack of torque-filling electric boost. On paper it pushes the P1 hard, 0 to 60 miles per hour coming up in just 2.7 seconds and 0 to 124 miles per hour in 6.8 seconds, the latter a whole second faster than the 720S. The P1S takes half a second out of the Senna's 0 to 186 miles per hour. And it's faster overall at 217 miles per hour against 211 miles per hour. But next-gen aero and chassis control systems mean a P1 is unlikely to see which route the Senna went in the corners. 2. The seams make sense when you see it, with its goofy front overhang, undernourished wheel archways, gaping intakes and towering rear wing. The Senna isn't conventionally beautiful. McLaren's social media director declares as much, sighing, "It's not an easy auto to photograph. In comparison with the shrink-wrapped sensuality of the P1, the Senna has shadowed of some of the fussier, aero-heavy F1 automobiles, such as Lewis Hamilton's 2008 championship-winning MP423. But in the flesh, it's more successful. The front view's startling in its aggression, your eye instinctively tracking the flow of breath over and through the car and the establishing visual sense of how the aero operates. 3. It's got too much downforce. If the P1 was a transformer switching between suave hypercar and trail monster, the Senna is permanently the latter. Which is good report if you're supposed to drive your P1 everywhere in race mode to prove your manhood. With a 25-degree range of motion, the wing contributes to a total of 1,763.7 pounds of downforce at 155 miles per hour, the P1 producing 1,323 pounds at the same hasten. Meanwhile, active, contrast-colored aero blades within the front fenders change airflow over their attached downstream equivalents to retain remedy aero balance. Under braking, this is likely to mean bleeding off downforce on the front axle, the front and rear aero parts adjusting to a low drag configuration at velocities faster than 155 miles per hour. 4. Forget the acceleration. It's all about cornering and braking. Switch to race mode and the Senna will, like the P1, slam its race-active chassis control suspension to its stiffer, track-only configuration, the front plunging 1.5 inches and the rear 1.2 inches for pronounced rake. The whole thing of the chassis and aero working together is just going to give you massive confidence, says project director Ian Houshall. Fresh from driving it in Spain, you can brake later, turn later and get on the strength earlier than you ever could in a P1, just because of the downforce available. By invariably trimming that front to rear, it's optimally balanced all the time. Favor a last place of the late breakers driving style. You'll enjoy the facts of the case. The Senna stops dead from 124 miles per hour. A full 56 paws short of the 720S, effectively a whole braking board later on any presented circuit. Strap in tight. 5. It's all about the lap period. Just don't ask about the lap period. From forward down, everyone at McLaren will tell you how lap period came firstly in the Senna's development, inspiring the obvious question to Ultimate Series boss Andy Palmer: exactly what is the lap period, and around which circuit? We've got internal benchmarks. We've got our competitor benchmarks and we're pleased with the numbers we've got, he deadpans. But how can you say it's about lap period without showing a lap period? We've never released a period with a P1. and whatever circuit I say someone will translate that into a projected Nürburgring lap period, and I'm not rendering a number. So, it's all about the lap period, but it'll be up to you to set one. 6. The 789 HP strength output is the least interesting thing about it. The M840TR flat-plane V8 is basically an progression of the 4.0-liter unit and the 720S, sporting a 6.4-pound carbon fiber intake plenum weighing nearly half as much as the 720S aluminum equivalent and featuring revised cams, lighter pistons and titanium/Inconel wearies. These exit through the Center for Human Rights pipe at normal onus, the muffler bypassed and the exhaust routed through the other two when you're really on the gas. In certain markets, you'll even be able to delete the muffler and third pipe exclusively. It's an example of where the Senna's engineers lose the fixation with their mounts and talk more about the sensory experience, the sheer rawness, the route the gravel sprays the arched liners, the feeling of every extra RPM fizzing through the carbon structure, the undiluted feedback of the steer and the hasten of induction breath being channeled into the rooftop snorkel intake. For all its functional brutality, McLaren wants you to know that the Senna is designed to engage at an emotional degree. 2. Even at street velocities, can't live without your creature comforts. You can option aircon and a special Bowers and Wilkins audio system back in. The latter cost you $5,860 and an additional 16.1 pounds on the scale of assessments.